Mm. So, welcome. This is a really special occasion. Just good day to do what we do best. And, we're really happy to be back where we belong.
Where we've always belonged. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is Myrtle, and my name is Crandall. This is Pickpackers, and we have something very special for you today.
As usual, we're really excited to be doing what we do best. Just indulging in this, you could call it an athletic sport, you could call it a hobby, you could call it a art form.
You call it a life purpose?
Purpose. You could call it whatever you want. We're pleased to be announcing that today's episode will be centered around Preserve Mint TeaTree.
And this particular pack we've named Elliot because it reminds us of an Elliot, neither male or female, or human or animal or otherwise, just Elliot.
Couldn't agree more. It's a great name for this pack. It's got the barcode for inventory purposes, and it's got a green stripe at the top, which is an easy way of knowing immediately what the flavor is if it's in your pocket. Speaking of which, what can you tell us about the experience of having this in your pocket?
It's kind of like if you could imagine a Dalmatian that was shrunk down and you could fit it kind of under your pillow, but then you imagine that Dalmatian as actually a pick and a box of picks, and you could fit that box of picks into a cylinder, and you could put that cylinder into a washcloth, and then you could take it out and put it in your pocket. And it's sort of it's very comforting, it's very relaxing, soothing, mystical, fragrant.
Yeah, couldn't have said that better. There's certain packs that are a little more boxy, and when they're in your pocket, they're a little distracting, or you could possibly cut your hand, or something could go wrong. So with this kind of sleek pack, I really want to hats off to Preserve and the fine people in their design department. And one last thing I'll say about the package is they say it's recyclable, and if you don't have the facilities to recycle it in your own location, you can mail it in and they'll recycle it for you. So so there's that, and we've kind of in our own conversations fantasized about building a little time capsule out of this, and putting some of our favorite memories in the pack,
Yeah.
burying it in a spot maybe alongside Route 1 or Route 95.
Yeah, and we'd like to ask our viewers, what would you bury? What would you choose to put in your time capsule? Would you choose a lock of your neighbor's hair? Would you choose some old Rice Krispies that you found under the fridge? Would you choose a pomegranate seed or maybe a feather from a nightingale? Or would you choose the one thing in life that actually matters, which I think we're still trying to figure out what that is. But
You know, it's the perfect size that you could fit a micro SD memory chip inside it, and then if you have, say, like 64 gigs on it, that's a lot of space.
I had a neighbor who was a Zen monk, and he buried one of those 64 gigabyte SD cards in his time capsule, but he just didn't put anything on it. I saw him the other day at Arby's.
Arby's? Arby's?
Arby's, yeah.
Huh.
So the pick we have today is called Preserve, and it's actually mint, although you may have thought that it was TeaTree for some of our viewers with a keen eye.
I'm going to try to get this plastic off as swiftly and efficiently as possible. It's fine quality as usual.
That's a good sound. Can we hear that again?
Yeah. They haven't changed that over the years. I really
Yeah, maybe
appreciate.
one more time.
Yeah. One more.
Seems like a lot of flavor. Well, we have approximately 35 count, made in the USA.
Does it say approximate?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. Maybe we should count them.
Yeah. You'd think with a number like 35, it wouldn't be too hard to get exactly 35 in there.
This is your pack, so maybe you should do it.
Okay. Good
Or
call.
you could like give me half or something, but you should just do
You
it.
could split them up. Well,
Because I don't want to touch all your picks.
right. I'll give you one.
There's a time
I'll
for
give you
that,
the
but
one.
it's not now.
Yeah, probably wise decision. I will count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 17, 'Dude, I think I lost count.
That's probably 35.
Yeah, it's
I
probably
could-
35.
I can just eyeball it from there.
Oh. Okay, that one is an offering.
Yeah, for those of you who may have somehow been able to torrent season 1 because it's actually illegal in this country, you may know that if you drop your pick on the ground, you have to just leave it there. It's one of the picker's rules.
Yeah.
But
It's for, various reasons we have that rule in place, and it's really mostly for protection, because once you pick one up off the ground, even if you know it's been on the ground, you're not going to put it back in. You might put it in your pocket, then find it later and contract some kind of unwanted bacteria.
yeah,
Bacterial infection or something like that. I don't know. So,
first impressions, I would say that there's no grip on these, and they're a little bit longer than standard picks, your standard market picks. The color is quite elegant. Kind of reminds me of a swan in winter.
Yeah. They are a bit longer. The lack of a grip is something that I really appreciate. They're not overly concerned with our safety. That's what it feels like to me, and I feel a little bit more like off the leash, anything can happen. So, props.
Yeah.
The coloration on this is very smooth, which, reminds me of a basketball court, or maybe some kind of logging facility. Reminds me of traveling down a river on a log, and it's floating, it's bobbing, it's weaving around rocks, kind of floating, sailing.
Yeah, it's like the harvest moon and the clouds just slowly drifting by, and maybe a fawn in the bushes just looking for some grass to eat. And it's just
Oh, thought I got a text message.
what do you say we pop these in?
Yeah.
Yeah, the flavor, it's very creamy and minty. It's really quite refreshing. Quite refreshing. Any first impressions?
This one really caught me off guard. It's so emotional. It's evoking an emotional reaction from me because it's just so creamy and minty. It's like mint chocolate chip ice cream, and never experienced anything like it. I would choose this over brushing my teeth in the morning, because for the flavor alone, it's just so... I'm so glad that we bought this pack today, because it feels right.
It reminds me of how right it felt when my great Aunt Ethel put her pick in my mouth for the first time when I was 6 years old. Just it set me down the path of pickers, and I woke up this morning and I wasn't sure I was going to get out the door, and I put my shoes on, tied the left one, stared at the right one for about 30 minutes and was just crying, and then I remembered that I was coming here and everything is right. Just right as rain, right as a picker's rain. So, what would you rate these, I think?
Man, in terms of rating, look at the sheen. It's so shiny. It's like a sword.
It's like a swordfish also.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd probably rate it a solid 4.4.
4.4 out of 5 picks. I think I'm gonna have to agree with that. 4.4.
Today, this is my favorite pick. And that's what really matters. I would give it a 5 if I didn't have so much respect for the potential of this, phenomenon. But 4.4, and yeah, the interesting thing is that this tastes a little different from other preserves I've had in the past. It's a little creamier, subtle mint, subtle TeaTree. The white birch is coming through as the kind of palate. And I'm so pleased with the way that occasionally you'll have a pack that's a little different, or you could even say every time the pack is a little bit different. It's kind of like opening up a pack of Pokemon cards and you don't know what you're gonna get until you see them and taste them. and I feel like I just got a Charizard. This is unbeatable. It's, it sets the bar high for toothpicks. What do you got there?
Pretzels? I don't know if they're vegan though. They do contain milk.
Goldfish pretzels. And how do they pair with the preserve?
Really well. I'd recommend this pairing. Maybe along a sandy beach.
Wow. That's sounds nice on a cold winter day like this.
So activities you could do with this pick: canoeing, gardening,
Easily.
those are probably my 2 activities that I would recommend with this pick.
Carpentry. Sensory deprivation tank. Maybe find a kind of a dark space in your home and you could kind of set up your own little chamber just to fully experience the flavors. And I definitely recommend keeping the top closed to prevent some of the aroma from escaping. It keeps it fresh longer, and such a good pack.
Maybe we'll end just with 3 sounds of the cap, opening, closing.
Yeah, opening. So what you're about to hear, if you're just listening, is the sound of the cap opening, and then you'll hear it close. You'll hear it open again, and
then close again.
And then close again, and then a bit of shaking.
Yeah, and you might want to also, for all of our beat producers out there, if you sample this, you can do that for free, but just give the proper credit where credit is due.
I almost forgot to say that. It's important.